Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the activation phase. I'm JP, and tonight I'm joined by Tim.
Tim?
Tim.
Tim. Hello.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Tonight we're talking about the Indians.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I think we actually said we are going to talk about the Indians last time. So if you managed to make it to the 55-minute mark, congratulations. You knew what was coming.
We didn't lie to you.
We kept the word, so go us. One quick reminder is we have a voicemail. Please give us a spicy voicemail. Feel free to tell us how great we are or what we could improve. Your spicy Saga takes, your smack talk with your local opponent will probably not have anything to add to it, but we enjoy smack talk.
Yes.
So the number is +49 6404 8030756. So it'll be in the show notes and wherever we post it so you don't have to grab a pencil right now. So let's move on to the meat of the episode.
I'm ready.
Good, me too. All right, what kind of troops can you take, Tim?
Right. So, equipment options. So you're a warlord, and I think he's already very interesting. So let's take our time with him. He can have no equipment options. He can be on a heavy chariot, or he can be on an elephant. So you can choose to make your warlord a Raja, and if you do so, he is either on a heavy chariot or on an elephant. If you do the heavy chariot, he just has the normal heavy chariot rules. So he's going to have 12 aggression when he attacks, and then 4 aggression when he gets attacked, which I don't think are amazing rules. And then he loses the bodyguard special rule when you put him on a heavy chariot, which is not great. And he inflicts 1 additional hit on the enemy when he is the attacker.
Yeah. Also, you can't go into terrain. So.
Oh right, just like a normal chariot. Yeah.
So big downside.
Yeah. So I think that's the weaker choice. And then the Raja can also be on an elephant. So you buy that for a point, which is, I think we've never seen that before, that you buy a non-legendary hero for a point that just kind of like upgrades your warlord. And he has aggression 10 in melee and 3 in shooting. So it's like, it's like an upgraded warlord, but he only generates 1 Saga die, and he just has the elephant rules. So armor 4/5, composite bows, and then all the important elephant rules. And he also has prestigious. So whenever he is killed, he counts as a unit of 2 heroes being killed, because you kind of paid like an extra point for it. So I think he has some great value with the board, but he's also very expensive. So the best option might be just to take the wallet without equipment options.
Yeah, he also has resilience 3 instead of 2.
Right. Yeah. Which like the big resilience actually makes a huge difference with the board. So that's like one of the few reasons why I think this guy might be worth it. But yeah. So
it's also just a really cool idea, right?
Yeah. And there's some great models for the elephant Raja King type. Yeah, like dude. All right. Next up are the Hearth Guards. They can have heavy weapons, or they can be mounted on a horse, and just 1 unit of Hearth Guards can be mounted either with on horses or have heavy weapons, and then they can be in heavy chariots, and there's no unit restriction on that. Then you can recruit elephants as per usual, so up to 3 points. Just like up to half your Saga points spent for the elephants if you want to. Your warriors can either be in light chariots, and light chariots are like a smaller version of chariots, and they have armor 3 in melee and 4 in shooting, and they have their aggression kind of switched around, because 1 light chariot has aggression 1 in melee and aggression 2 in shooting, and 2 warrior models count as being 1 light chariot. So you, for a point, you buy 4 light chariots instead of 8 warriors. So your 4 light chariots, which is just a usual, like a normal warrior point, will have only 4 attacks in melee, but they will have the big A shooting attacks, which is obviously amazing. And then your warriors can also be mounted on a horse, but only maximum 1 unit. And then your levies. Your levies can have no equipment options, so just sword and board, or they can have bows. Whew!
Yep, that's a lot of equipment options. And just to on top of all of that, you have some extra rules in terms of choosing your warband. So there's you actually have to, or you can't spend more than half your Saga points on recruiting the same unit type. So that means, a unit type is elephants, Hearthguard, warriors, and levies. And you count the heavy chariots as Hearthguards and light chariots as warriors, which kind of makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, it's already there. They're kind of forcing you to mix it up a little bit. And then also the last one is no more than half of your units can have the resilience special rule. But you exclude your warlord from this, so that pretty much covers your heavy chariots for your Hearthguard, your elephants, and your warriors on light chariots. So
yeah,
it's a little bit of a puzzle to figure out everything that you can or cannot do. But I guess the name of the game here is you just mix it up a little bit and take a little bit of everything.
Yeah, nothing stopping you from doing like powerful units with resilience and then like weaklings without resilience.
Yeah, you have the levies with melee the option, so I guess you can even bring them down to 4. Just to increase the number of units if you want. I'm not sure that'll work out. No, you do 4 to max it.
How would you do 4?
Wait, there's no limit on levies. They can be 4, right?
They can have to be 6.
They have to. They generate dice when they're 6, but you can still deploy them as 4. Like 3 times 4.
Really?
Yeah, there's no limit to it. Like,
Are you sure?
It's completely useless for most people, but if you're trying to bump the number of units you can take that can have resilience.
Dude, yeah, sure. I guess so. You just blew my mind. I never thought that was an option, but I guess it is. I guess it is.
Take 1 unit for levies, split it into 3 units of 4 levies. Yeah. You're not going to get any dice, but it means you can take 3 units of warriors on light chariots.
Yeah, easy. You can't because you can only have maximum 2 units of warriors on light chariots, but that's just the Indians for you.
Oh yeah. Right? Damn it. It's too many things. Anyway, but yeah, just do your levies in 2. It's fine.
Yeah.
Split them up in 6s. All right.
Cool.
Cancel that.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
I think we've actually... No, you know what? We haven't even got through all the special rules.
Yeah. Please do Orda's tactics for us, JP.
Sure. So the Indians, since they love special rules, they have an extra Saga type. So this is the Order's Tactics. This replaces some of your basic abilities on the top of your board. So the Order's Tactics ability works a little bit differently from just your standard Orders abilities. It's immediately triggered when it's activated, namely at the moment when you place your dice on the ability. But you don't discard them, you just leave them on there, and they remain active. So I guess it's a little bit like the Carolingian Prolium, that kind of idea.
Absolutely.
And it's not like you can stack multiple Orders Tactics on top of each other or play the same thing twice. So don't try that. But you can, if you want, use all of them at the same time, but then you won't have any dice for anything else. So there's that.
Which just makes the whole army composition even more difficult, because you need to account for having like 2 dice just sitting in the Order's Tactics usually, or maybe even 3. And so you kind of have to build for maybe 1 or 2 Saga dice less than you would normally have, like maybe just 5 or 6 Saga dice will do the trick with the Indians. And I think it's so hard to build a proper warband with all the restrictions, and then you want to have proper tactics, so it's a tough one for sure.
Yeah, this one's a little bit tough to theory hammer out.
At
least for myself. So, but I believe you've managed to get some games in, which is good. Because otherwise, I would just be making stuff up as we go along, as usual.
I mean, we usually do anyway. Yeah.
All right. No.
let's look at the board.
Okay. Let's
You want to start
late.
us off with the top row? And I think this one just it's never really interesting, but this time around it's interesting.
Yeah, this one's pretty crazy actually. So the first one, where normally your Hearthguard heroes are, activates unit of Hearthguards, elephants, or a hero. So that's pretty usual. The next one, where the warriors normally is, only activates any units. However, the dice you require for that is a rare or an uncommon. Then we get to the orders tactics. So there's 3 of those. So the first one is using a uncommon plus a rare. This is called a Varja. Orders tactics. So your units can reroll 1 attack dice and 1 defense die during each melee and shooting attack. So this one seems pretty good to me. It just generally, increases like the kind of like your averages of how little you're actually going to lose, and also just makes your attacks better. But it's pretty costly. But I guess you're down 2 dice. So the next one is Padma. So again, orders tactics. The range of your bows and composite bows is increased by S. And this one requires a common a common plus an uncommon. This is, in my view, totally amazing. I love this one. I don't know about you, but for me, this just seems like it fits in so nicely with all your elephants with composite bows, your light chariots with composite bows, and then also some levies with probably bows as well. So a lot of shooting, and you're just going to be that little bit extra range, which makes it very annoying for people to get to you.
Yeah.
What more? The last one is called Viuhas. So again, orders tactics. You can reroll up to 3 inactive Saga dice during your orders phase, and this is for a common. So pretty good for a common, but you're already. I guess you could play this during the orders phase when you see that your dice are not quite what you hoped for them to be. And I guess you're down 1 dice, but you have a chance to reroll something that you actually need. So it's kind of like an activation pool type substitute, but not quite.
Kind of, yeah.
But So it's
so with these orders tactics, I think they all have their place, and they all have a special place in my heart because I think they're all great. The Varja one with the reroll 1 attack and 1 defense die during each melee and each shooting attack. That's gonna keep because usually the elephants die to just 1 shot going, and that's gonna be a fatigue, even though you have like resilience 2 or 3 even. And with this, you're gonna definitely minimize on that happening. And then the 1 extra, the 1 attack reroll is also great for your elephants with the composite bows because they only have like 2 shots. So rerolling 1 is usually all that's gonna miss anyway. So on average, so that's it's so good. It's so good with this warband. It's really good.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then,
So I think even though it's just 1 defense dice, it makes such a big difference, especially against shooting.
yeah,
Like what you said, like the way to get rid of elephants is just kind of like multiple little shots.
yeah.
Especially because I think they're resilience too, so that makes them even more annoying. So
Yeah.
multiple little shots just is the way forward. So this mitigates that somewhat.
And then Padma with the 10-inch composite bow reach. Oh, it's so good. It's so juicy. With the warriors with the light chariots, they might have some problems like all getting close enough to actually shoot at the target, and with this, no problem whatsoever. You can stay so far away. You can all the other armies with their horses on composite bows, they struggle with terrain if it's too narrow, and then these guys just shoot their composite bows in 10 inches wide. It's super nice.
Yeah, what's the base size for the light chariot?
It's not too big actually. I think it's.
Oh yeah, it must be on a base 40 to 80 millimeters wide and 80 to 100 millimeters long. So
Yeah.
not too bad. But yeah, if a whole point is going to take up a pretty sizable chunk of space anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely bigger than 2 warriors on horses would be next to each other. It's
Yep.
like 4 times the
Yeah,
space.
it's
So
yeah. I think yeah. What's the minimum horse size? 20 times 40
20
millimeters.
times 40. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So so it's gonna be double the minimum cavalry size.
yeah.
Um,
Which So you have yeah. Which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's okay. They're not as big as the the huge heavy chariot or the heavy chariot bases.
all right, cool. Should we get on to the advanced abilities now?
Yeah, I'd love to. All right. First one is called Caddy. It's an activation ability, and it takes 2 common dice. Activate up to 3 units of Hearthguards, Warriors, Levies, or Elephants to move or shoot. Each one must be a different troop type. This, of course, plays into the whole theme of having a mixed army again. 3 activations for 2 commons is good, is okay, especially since the warriors activate like levies with this board. So you basically get like the value of 2 levy activations and like something else you wanted from this board, which is for 2 commons. It's quite okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So the next one is a change of plan. This is for a common. This is Order's reaction. Roll 4 available Saga dice and place them only on Order's tactics abilities if possible. The dice you can't place are returned to your available dice. Yeah, so that's a pretty cheap way of enjoying your opponent is doing, and maybe switching it up a little bit, or switching from Padma to Varya during your opponent's turn. So I think that's a pretty reasonable thing. I'm not sure it's something that you would do every turn, but sure.
I think you'd load this up like in the beginning of the game once, and then wait maybe a turn or 2 turns until you lost a die or 2 maybe through combat, and then play this because you know you won't have to remove your Saga dice in the beginning of your orders phase to get them back to start rolling them. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. And
it's
this is a common as well, so it's pretty easy to do.
And it's good for your economy, for your dice economy, to kind of get a 4 dice boost 2 or 3 turns into the game.
Nice.
Yeah. Next up is Shock. It's a melee ability that takes a rare. If you inflict automatic hits during this melee, double the number of automatic hits inflicted. You can inflict a maximum of 8 automatic hits. So, this is, I think, no surprise. This is very good with your heavy chariots if you wanted to take them, because they will always inflict automatic hits when they charge. So you can double those, and then this really shines with your elephant. If he touches a unit that closed ranks, he will usually generate 4 automatic hits, and then this would get him up to 8. Or if he touches a unit that's mounted, he's also going to get 4, and then you can use this to go up to 8. And also, I don't think it's too bad if the opponent decides not to close rank. So you have 2 automatic hits, and you can double it to 4. That's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, to be honest. So nice.
If your elephant, even if he's exhausted, if he catches an enemy warlord on horse, they're gonna die with this ability, because you're gonna push through 8 automatic hits, and if they don't have like a Hearthguard nearby, then on average they should be dead if they're on horse, which is pretty good.
Yep, that's pretty brutal. All right, so the next one is No Way Out for a common dice. This is activation. So activate one of your units equipped with bows or composite bows to move. If your unit is equipped with bows, next activate it for shooting attack, generating no fatigue. If your unit is equipped with composite bows, their next movement activation of the turn generates no fatigue. First of all, this is amazing dice kind of efficiency, especially if you're playing it on Levy, because they essentially get two activations for the price of just a common.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing on the levies. On your warriors as well, it's also very efficient since I guess this can only be played on the warriors on light chariots, not the ones on horses. But yeah, like activating them with a common, and then I guess you do have to play another dice to move them
Yes.
to gain the no fatigue for the next one. But like, I guess you would run them in anyway, shoot, and then spend one extra dice to get them out of there. So the downside there is you do need to play it with Pada, which is an uncommon or a rare there. So you do need to. So this is a little bit tricky. Sometimes you just don't roll any uncommons and rares.
Yeah, fair enough. But your Warlord also can help with that, or Paddy can help with this if you just roll commons, because you can activate three different units.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think usually you'll be able to activate whatever you want to with this board.
Yeah, and it also it makes them so much better, since the issue with chariots and anything with resilience is like getting fatigue. So you get rid of that, which is great.
Yeah, and this is amazing on elephants because they have composite bows, so you can activate them to double move without fatigue. It's so nice.
Nice. That one is definitely very good.
Yeah. All right, next up is reinforced armor. Talking about elephants, I guess. It takes an uncommon or a rare. It's a melee ability for elephants only. After rolling your defense dice, cancel casualties equal to your resilience value. If you use a rare, increase your unit's resilience by 1. So just to give you an example of how powerful this is, your Rajan Elephant, we talked about him earlier, he has resilience 3. So for an uncommon, not the rare, for an uncommon, after rolling all your defense dice, he's gonna cancel 3 of those casualties that he couldn't stop with his defense dice, which is amazing. And this is also, of course, really good on normal elephants that just have resilience 2. This is also going to be very good on them. And then the rare, I think there's better places on here for a rare, but the rare can be really, really frustrating if your elephants suddenly have resilience 3 and also cancel 3 hits at the end of rolling your defense dice. Pretty brutal.
Yeah, that makes them so difficult to kill. That's pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, because usually, right, for elephants you only get like 1 or 2 hits through. In my experience at least, and then that's the way they die, by getting small hits in melee and shooting. And so this, just like Varja took care of the shooting stuff, this usually takes care of the 1 or 2 hits that go through in melee. So that's really good.
Yeah, speaking of 1 or 2 hits in shooting, maybe we can go to the next size. The next one, next ability, which is called Great Size. So this is you can trigger this using any dice facing. This is a shooting reaction. So you can only play this on units of heavy chariots or elephants. So each successful roll of a defense dice cancels 2 hits instead of 1. Automatically cancel 2 additional hits if you use a rare. So yeah, okay, this is starting to get a little bit ridiculous on how survivable elephants are. I think this is somewhat limited, since you are only playing with 5 or 6 dice, and you also need to move around a little bit. So it sounds really amazing so far, being able to play and combo all these abilities. But that essentially means that you won't be able to move around at all.
Yes.
So, I think it's going to be a very, very rare turn where you manage to do reinforced armor, Great Size, and what's the other one? Shock. At the same time. This is pretty amazing. It basically guarantees that you're not going to be plinked off the board with like some stupid javelin levy, just throwing some sticks at your elephants.
And I don't think you ever need to play a rare here, because with Varja up, so that's the one where you can reroll 1 defense and 1 attack die. Even though, like, on average, this basically makes your unit immune in shooting, right? Because you're going to fail half your defense dice and you're going to succeed on half of them, and then if the half that succeeded, that usually, like, that those count as 2. So on average, With this ability, your unit is invulnerable in shooting. But if you don't trust the averages, then Varja is really has your back because you one of those that you failed. You can reroll it, and then if it's a success, it also counts as 2 saves. So again, combos really well with Varja.
Nice.
All right. Next up, another elephant ability in my mind. Okay, it's called The Earth Trembles. It takes a common and an uncommon. It's an activation ability for a foot unit. I don't think I've ever seen foot unit before, but foot unit is supposed to mean infantry, and elephants do count as infantry. So this works on an elephant. Activate a unit for a charge that generates no fatigue. So you can easily move around your elephant. You can move him, and then with no way out, move him again without fatigue, and then with the earth trembles, charge him in, still without fatigue. So that's a pretty fast elephant. That's like 14 inches. I don't think many elephants can keep up with that. And then of course it's very expensive. It's an uncommon and a common. So 2 dice for just the one activation that generates no fatigue is very expensive. But if you have it on an elephant, it might be worth it. Or maybe your hearth guards. If you just have an 8 stack of hearth guard with heavy weapons, this can also definitely.
Yeah, I was just checking the foot unit thing.
Yeah.
They do say elephants count as infantry. The leap towards foot unit for me is maybe a little bit less clear. So I'm kind of. I wish they would make that a little bit.
They do.
A little bit clearer.
They do in the book. With this ability, you can activate an infantry unit for a charge that generates no fatigue. Although this effect is excellent, you might think it's slightly overpriced until you remember that an elephant counts as an infantry unit, and that when combined with no way out, this makes your elephants insanely fast.
All right, I stand corrected.
I don't know. They're just fucked up and called it foot unit.
Yeah, they could have just said elephants, but anyway,
they could have just said infantry. Like always, everything says infantry.
Yeah, because it like you would never play this on your Hearthguard unit with heavy weapons.
Why not?
Why?
on an 8 stack with heavy weapons, I don't think that's too bad.
But you could play them on elephants.
Elephant.
No. Yeah. But it's sure. But I think this is also made for elephants. Also the title. Like 8 dudes running towards you, it's not going to make the earth tremble. So fake. But yes, another nice one. So the next one is Mandala. So this is using an uncommon, a melee ability, to choose a friendly unit within S of your unit. If the unit has different troop type, for example, Hearthguards, Warriors, Elephants, or Levies, you can reroll 2 attack dice and 2 defense dice. If the unit has the same troop type, you can reroll 4 defense dice. So firstly, they changed the font halfway through, which a little bit.
You're right.
But formatting aside, I guess for uncommon, it's okay. Again, this is on top of your potential Varja as well, where you can reroll, I guess, an additional 2 attack or defense dice in a melee. So yeah, it makes. I guess it really just makes things not die, or it's better. So yeah,
I think it's a good ability to put an uncommon here because you can always pick yourself, and if you pick yourself, like if you pick the unit that activates this, they will always gain 4 defense dice rerolls, which are great. So this makes things survive. Right, next up is Steel Danu. It's a shooting ability that takes an uncommon. If the enemy's armor against shooting is 5 or higher, you can reroll all your attack dice which don't score hits. Otherwise, you can reroll half your attack dice which don't score hits. This is kind of like the first dud for me, I think. But only with certain builds. This is amazing with the warriors on light chariots because they will throw lots of dice. But I don't think this is too great on the small shooting attacks of the elephants. and maybe your levies like it, but I'm not sure. If you have a shooting build, this is good. When I played the Indians, I didn't really go for like big shooting build, so this wasn't too great for me. And then the rerolling all your attack dice doesn't really combo well with Varja, which lets you reroll one attack die anyway. So I think this is okay. This is okay to shoot into armor 5 or lower. Both should work fine.
Yep. All right. So the last one is Dynasties of the Raja. This is using a common or a rare. This is a melee ability, so this is for a unit with resilience. So after this melee is resolved, remove a fatigue from your unit. Remove 2 fatigues if you use the rare. So amazing on elephants again.
Ooh, so good.
Especially that rare. It's going to be pretty brutal. I think this is probably somewhere I would definitely put the rare first, especially if you're gonna get into melee with your elephant. However, this also works for your light chariots if you really feel like charging them in, or if they get charged for some reason, and then obviously your heavy chariots as well. So yeah, all around pretty damn good. And again, this is just like such a good board for fixing the problems with the resilience on the elephants. Well, I guess not fixing it. I mean, that's how they're supposed to be. But kind of like any downsides, you can pretty much get rid of for the elephants. So there's really no reason not to take them in this board.
Yeah, I think this is best. This is best used on your warlord or your elephants, because the warlord's also gonna love this. If he has some Hearthguard with him, he's gonna be invincible. Like what are you gonna do to him if he has like 4 Hearthguard meat bags, blood bags running around with him? Then he can also remove 2 fatigues after a melee. That's very good. And getting that rare isn't even too hard, because you have the Vyuhas, whatever. I don't know how to spell that Order's Tactics ability, where you can reroll up to 3 of your inactive Saga dice during your Order's phase. So just fishing for the rares over the course of a whole game, rerolling like around 9 or 12 dice. You're definitely gonna get some more rares than you have before.
Yep, definitely. All right, so this one's a little bit of a weird board. So can you help me out and give me some tips on how you would build an Indian warband?
No, not really. I have to be to be honest, AP. This you can do everything. Like just throw in some elephants, and then mix in some other stuff to make the like mixed unit type abilities work, and then you're good. Like you can definitely spend 3 points of elephants on this. It's just like the Cessnats. They also love the elephants, and I think so do these.
Yeah, I think these are love them even more. But
yeah,
I think minimum 2 elephants, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Possibly Raja on elephant if you're going for the rule of cool.
Yeah. So I think since it works so well, having a unit of light chariots, it's just 1 point, and they're going to generate eight attacks. I think outside of mercenaries, there's nothing in Saga that's that efficient. 1 point for 8 attacks? No, just 1 point for 4 attacks is usually your Hearthguard and your warriors, and 1 point for 6 attacks and shooting is your levies, and this just one-ups all of that, and it's very, very efficient.
Yeah, also with no way out, just combining it to, you don't have to worry about them getting fatigued either. So yeah, I think 1 point of light chariots definitely. And then I mean, why wouldn't you take a unit of bow-armed levies if they can get that extra range as well?
Yeah, and I think the sword and board levies are also pretty good, because you can easily activate them through Patty, and then they're just very resilient. They just don't die. They're very they will survive a lot and help with objective play, take objectives. They won't be the greatest fighting unit, but they can definitely take objectives, hold them, or protect objectives in desecration, for example, or just hold on to the baggage markers in an ambush or something. So I think they're a great scenario play unit to have like a unit of 12 levies with just sword and board, and maybe a unit of 12 levies with bows as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's talk about the ruses. The first one is called Mountain Rajas, and it's a recruitment ruse. Ignore the faction rules entirely. Nice, a great start. Your warband can't include any elephants, or units with the mount special rule. Your wallet must be on foot without equipment options, and your levies can only be equipped with bows. You can recruit warriors and Hearthguards without equipment options, and ignore the equipment restrictions on your Hearthguards units. Your warriors on foot can alternatively be equipped with javelins. Your infantry units ignore movement penalties from uneven, but not dangerous, terrain during move activations, and get a bonus movement of very short when moving or charging. So that's like a whole different army just right there, because they're gonna move. Everyone's gonna move 8 inches through terrain, and then charge 4 inches through terrain, which is okay. Yeah, but you lose elephants, and so this is a no for me.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy just to mix it up, but also like the reason that you would play Indians is to do the elephants, right?
Their pictures, they're like the symbol for the Indians is literally an elephant. Like this feels like betrayal.
Yep. All right, pass. All right, so the next one is also a recruitment one. So it's Mauryan Empire. Your warband can now recruit up to 2 units of each of the following mercenary units: Camel Riders, Mercenary Hoplites, Psiloi, Thereoporoi, and Thorakitai. All right, sure. I don't know. I don't know I haven't read the mercenaries yet. My bad.
Yeah, so maybe just to throw it in here, the Camel Riders are really really good, and then the Turikitai, I think maybe it's probably not even the right pronunciation, but they are very good on units that have ranged weapons. So that would be your chariots, elephants, and everything, and they would rock with these Indians. They're amazing. But one problem: all the battle boards, orders, tactics, abilities don't work on mercenaries. So that's a big no. So I don't think you would want to spend more than 1 point on mercenaries with the Indians. But
Yeah.
1 point of Turikitai for the defensive bonus, pretty good.
Yeah, also like you can't activate them using your advanced abilities.
Yeah.
So that makes them pretty expensive to activate because you'd have to use the uncommon or the rare.
Yeah.
The basic one.
Yeah.
So that makes it pretty risky, to be honest.
Yeah, and the Camel Riders, they have determination, but the Turikitai don't. So yeah. Okay, next up is Satra. Use this ruse after the warbands have been deployed, but before the first turn of the game. Select a unit in your warband equipped with ranged weapons and redeploy it within short of a piece of uneven terrain and more than L away from any enemy units. Ooh, I think this might be usable in elephants. Of course it is. It's really good. Use it on an elephant, get him real closer than. So this is only worth it if you play like a scenario with a deployment that's further away than large from the beginning. So like feasting and pillaging is a prime example where this can be worth it.
Yeah, or I guess if they bunch up their warband in the corner or something, so you can get a little
Even on their side, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you played Change of Plans, then they would already be on their side for the conquer points.
Nice. All right. So the next one is a veterans one. So called the Maiden Guard. Hearthguard on foot or horse only. So your unit ignores the first casualty inflicted each turn, no matter its origin. Your unit also gains Resilience 1 special rule. When your warlord targets this unit with their bodyguard special rule, the range of the rule is M instead of short. It's for three coins, so pretty expensive. But would you be playing a lot of Hearthguards on horses? Not sure. I guess you would be playing them on foot with the heavy weapons, but even there, yeah, I don't know.
One thing to note about the Maiden Guard, they count as Resilience 1, so that makes it even more difficult to find a balanced army because you can only have half your units with Resilience. So this would be one of them. So you definitely have to watch out that might mean that you can bring one elephant less, and I don't think that's great. All right. Next up is Brahman Oration.
Oration.
I guess. Brahman Oration. Use this ruse instead of using a Saga ability. Step 4. You can reroll a number of attack dice that don't score hits equal to your opponent's armor. So, it's quite cheap, and if you use it for into armor 5, I think is where the sweet spot of this is. Then this can be worth it for one coin. Having 5 rerolls in a melee can make a big difference. That's like, yeah, if you roll badly, that's like having five extra attack dice, which is pretty good.
Yep. All right. So last one is also stratagem. Indian Elephant. Play this card during a melee involving a friendly elephant instead of playing a Saga ability. If the enemy unit is an elephant or has the mount horse special rule, inflict a fatigue on it. And this is for 2 coins. So this is pretty amazing. It sucks when you're fighting an elephant and they just manage to hang on. So you play this and they're probably not going to hang on, which is good.
Yeah.
For 2 point or 2 coins. Yeah, I think so. I mean, the other ones are a little bit weird and they change the composition of what you have to take a lot. So I would probably take this one because it's definitely going to come into in handy.
Yeah, this is also going to come into play like almost every game. Like, which army in the Ancients doesn't have, like, what army doesn't have at least one mounted unit that you can try to chase them with your elephant, or no elephants? So, like, almost every army is going to have one of those. Maybe one army that can be happy without it would be the Romans from Hannibal, or the
Thebians,
like the or the Thracians, but like not many.
6 points of warrior Thracians with javelins.
Yeah. For example, yeah.
All right, but yeah, like I think definitely this is probably one I would definitely take. The other ones are just a little bit too weird for me.
The preparation one, where you can move your ranged weapon unit into enemy territory if they screw up deployment, is also quite interesting, I think. But yeah.
Right.
All right.
You know what we're going to cover next? The model choices.
Right. Difficult topic.
This is such a... I really don't like any of the models I've seen so far. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
So the rulebook itself has a number of model choices, but I think they can be chartly described as like 1990s vibe.
Yes.
Which is fine if you like that, but doesn't quite fit with the times.
And if like they are pictured with opposing armies, like armies just like that are fighting them, and the armies fighting them look so much better. That's really sad. Like, the pictures are supposed to make the Indians look good, and that's not working.
Yeah, it's really strange. Also, for some reason they gave them like really weird bows that look like they're made from bamboo or something.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, I have seen. I've actually seen it many times now on different illustrations for them. So I think that might actually be a thing, but yeah.
No, man.
They look like they're made out of like bones.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm not a fan.
Me neither.
Maybe what are the least bad options, Tim?
Yeah, right. So I think, spoiler, I'm doing Indians, I think.
Does that mean they're OP and broken?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't want to comment. No. And there's 2 options. I'm 3D printing some stuff from Gadget Works. I think it's like a creator on Patreon, and also like my mini factory. And then there is there's like a British seller, I think it's called Blitzkrieg Miniatures, so feels very homey to me. They also do Indians, and they actually look quite good. They look quite good, actually. Yeah, so, but they're also 3D printed, I think.
Yeah, and they don't sell the STL files themselves, so you have to order them.
They don't.
So it's
Yeah.
I think they're based in the UK.
Yeah, in the UK. Yeah.
So it kind of sucks for everyone outside of the UK.
Yeah, right. The infantry is quite cheap. I think it's not too bad, but like the light chariots, one light chariot is like £20, and you definitely want 4 for like a unit, and that's gonna be very expensive very quickly.
Yep, definitely. It's going to be an expensive warband, especially because you're going to want to mix around a little bit to figure out what's actually good.
Yeah, this is one to have 25 games on TTS before you decide which build you're going to take to a local tournament or something. All right, so out of 5 clipped elephant toenails, how many? What's your rating?
This one is such a strange one to get my head around because I haven't seen it yet. I would put, like, my gut feeling says it's a strong one. Also, it makes the elephants super awesome. So I would say 4 clipped toenails out of 5.
That's not too bad. Yeah, I think many options in here are kind of distracting from what's really good. So I'll give them like 3.5, 3.3 clipped toenails out of 5. Elephant toenails, sorry. And then if you pick like the best of the best, which I don't know what that is yet, that might be a little bit better. But I think all these options aren't really like all going to benefit you. Some are definitely more distracting than helping.
Yeah, definitely. But what do you think the playstyle is going to be? How do you see them kind of dominating the next 1 year, 2 years?
Oof, I think people are going to spam the light chariots 2 units and absolutely murder everything in shooting because that's so efficient. Like, God, it's so efficient. And then have the elephants as like your hammer unit to go in and, I don't know, smash something that's hiding in terrain, or just have the elephant run up into terrain anyway.
How would you deal with the Indians? My first gut instinct is that you probably want to put some big piece of terrain down. Obviously, that doesn't work if you're playing as a Greek or like someone who plays with a lot of phalanx. But I think that's probably the number one thing. Just get rid of their mobility from the chariots. But yeah, it seems pretty tough, to be honest. But once you do catch the chariots, they're kind of toast, since they are just hitting you back with 1 dice in melee per model.
Yeah.
But it's catching them that's going to be the issue.
Yeah, I think you have to kind of sacrifice smaller units of warriors to kill the chariots quickly, as quickly as you can, and then it's so easy to run away from elephants. even if they have this many great abilities, it's very expensive to pull all of those abilities off to get their fatigue free.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the way to, I don't know, keep safe.
Yeah, they also don't have any activation reactions abilities to run away from you. So I think if you run up a unit of warriors, even if they end up being fatigued, as soon as you reach melee, the chariots are armor 3, and they're only hitting you with one attack dice. So it doesn't really matter that you have fatigue. So I think I think you just need to go all out and just catch them that way.
Yeah, I mean, they will just take your fatigue to increase their own armor, because but it's only going to go, yeah, you're right, it's only gone up to 4. It's not that bad. Yeah, so catch the chariots by surprise and maybe ignore the elephants until you can't anymore, and then I don't know, focus like 4.5 points of your army to kill these elephants, because otherwise they won't die.
All right. So I think we've covered everything that we want to cover for the Indians. I think it's probably one of the crazier off the wall warbands so far.
I
think we're gonna do probably the Persians next, which also have a bunch of pretty interesting rules. But I think slightly less than the Indians.
Persian sounds perfect. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and we'll catch you soon.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening, and don't forget to leave us voicemail. JP told you the number before,
and we're trying to kind of combine them or do like one voicemail per episode because it's pretty cool to hear from you.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like it's very fun. Like when we get the voicemails, I get an email that we got a voicemail. I immediately download it and send it to JP, and we're like, oh, nice. So yeah, keep sending them. Thank you. All right.
This is it. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.